but she's gone. But I have copies for all of the tree board tomorrow night for the tree meeting to look at. Hopefully have something from that. If they come.
Was there any kind of thing going on or reason that didn't anybody show up?
No.
They usually attend that.
No,
That's
it's-
pretty good, don't they?
Yeah.
It's getting recorded.
All right, we'll get started. The Fairview Park Board at 7:02 PM, 6/5/17. Call the meeting to order. Next, we'll call roll call.
Brandon Butler,
Present.
Patty Carroll, Brian Hendricks. Here. Jim Powell. Here. Neil Rice. Richard Edmondson, here.
Perfect. Item 3 will be approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 4, we'll go to citizens' comments. You guys have anything tonight?
Go Fred.
That's right. We'll make this quick.
Well, yeah, 5 minutes ago.
That's perfect. Okay. Mr. Early, anything?
No.
Good. Public announcements? You have any announcement? Yes, ma'am.
The fishing rodeo, is this coming?
Weekend?
Weekend Saturday, 7 to 10, at Veterans Memorial Park at Evergreen Lake, and that's
Or Loblolly too, right? Is that what that's?
So that's 10th, right? 10 June?
and it is National Fishing Day.
Awesome. And they stocked that pond, right, this week, I believe?
It will be.
You want to announce about the Friends meeting on Saturday?
Oh,
First District Coffee. That's right. I'm going to be there. I'm going to try.
located on Highway 100 in Fairview. All are welcome to join us.
Perfect.
Great coffee and great conversation.
Do they advertise at Fishing Radio? Because I've seen nothing about that.
It's been on Facebook a little bit.
Then and now.
I don't think so.
I know, that's what you don't know.
All right. So we, item 6, approval, or I'm sorry, item 5, public announcements. Did you have any additional announcements, Keith?
Just summer camp started today.
Today.
Still got a few openings, not many, but so far it looks good.
Awesome.
That Friends meeting at 9.
All right, we'll go to item 6, approval of the minutes from the May 1st, 2017 meeting. All 3 pages.
I move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect.
I'm giving you all the glory because you're fixing to leave.
Once you get it in there. All right, we'll go to item 7, general park updates. Keith, you got anything good going on over there?
No, just summer camps, fishing rodeo coming up.
All right, we'll move into item 8, old business. 8.1.1, discuss Storybook Trail updates. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll have, do you have any more meetings on the, where
Not
that
that I'm
stands?
aware of, no.
I know you've been attending some of those.
Bob Richards
That's right, waiting
is
on-
going to be looking at the, sort of assessing the beginning, starting tomorrow through the 8th, and then he'll be back on June 13th and 14th with a map, plan, cost, etc.
Awesome.
Okay. He'll be at the area behind the library?
Yeah.
So that'll be our second price, is that right? Because we have one from someone else as well.
Well, he's already kind of given us, but as far as getting it actual laid out and stuff, I think it's
Awesome.
the entire cost, not just laying it out.
Awesome. Any additional questions or discussion on that Storybook Trail? So right now it's just kind of hit a lag where it's waiting on the designer and layout and things like that. All right, we'll go to item 8.1.2, which is an update on the ADA Trail to Joanne's classroom.
Really nothing on that.
Is that one of the ones that they're putting in the budget? Is that, or is that still waiting on engineering?
That was though sort of engineering, I mean, Mr. Hall mentioned it last time.
That's right. He said that the engineer was very busy and they were thinking about trying to find another one. And that's when I think Andrew Krager kind of waved his hand like, you know, you can pay us to do it. All right. We don't have Dr. Rice here for History Village, or 8.1.3 History Village updates. Keith, do you know anything on those?
Not really anything new from the
Same.
same. I talked to the plumber, trying to get him out there. Might have somebody out there to dig the line and actually put the line in the ground, and so the plumber only has to come and attach.
Gotcha. That's good. Any pickup on signage and stuff? I know we talked some about signs and possibly even historic signs or things like that. Any other?
Well, didn't the last guy, the Los and Associates guy, say
That
he
his
was gonna
bid?
look at that or something?
It didn't say anything there on the minutes, but you
What
might
about
know.
the solar lights?
Oh, yeah.
Progress on those?
I'm not sure. I know Mr. Hall was working on some kind of lighting. I don't know if that incorporated him or not.
Update on or 8.1.4 update on status of Veterans Park. And that's in that Lowe's and Associates thing, and we talked a little bit about it to where the planning board didn't get to, or I'm sorry, the tree board did not get to meet last month, and that was something we were gonna talk about, and that was gonna get put onto the BOC agenda just for new discussion. That packet that Lowe's presented to us last week,
Yeah,
last month, I'm sorry.
I walked the park again closer. I took my wife out there to look at it. There were a couple things out there that were interesting. There's like four-wheeler trails.
Yeah, they come in from the other things, and
Did
there's,
someone just do that on their own, kind of? I don't know if that's good or bad, but,
it's always bad.
okay. Probably erosion, but they were drier and easier walk than some of the trail, but,
Well, most of that property is not ours.
yeah, I don't know where the borderline is behind
That's,
it.
it's not much.
So it kind of just goes to the wood line?
Yeah, I don't know if we have, if you have a map of it or anything, but if I had a laptop, I'd bring it up and show you. It's really
I have a photo in here
not as
somewhere.
much as you think it
It's
is.
just a.
It just goes past the tree line, I think. And
Okay,
then,
that's
then on
all
the
I need.
dam side, it's like the top of the dam, just in a little bit. There's a
Right.
couple flags in there.
Okay. I just noticed there were four-wheel trails in there. We
Yes.
walked them just to get more steps in, just to see what they were.
Yeah, some of them are coming from, we believe, Heartland Reserve, which is on the backside of that park.
Okay. Yeah, well, this time when we walked it, there was a big, huge, looks like they're developing something. It's been all flattened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to have been flattened yet.
What?
And then the only other thing was, at the end of it, it's not really a loop. When you start where you park and you walk around, it kind of just comes out onto the road.
Yeah,
If you didn't know better, you'd think, okay, like, it just comes out on the road, but if you turn left and go around that thing in the grass, you can kind of keep going. I didn't know if they were gonna improve that any, so it looked like a loop, or is that just how it's gonna be?
what are you talking about?
When you, let's say you park right in front,
Right.
you walk through the fence, there's just that one little opening. There might be more, I don't remember, but I know there's just one there in front. If you turn right and you start to follow the loop around the water, then you get to the backside and you keep going, it almost looks like there's a place to turn, but there's not. You gotta keep going back a little further through the woods. And then you walk over a bridge, but that bridge comes up and empties out onto the road. It opens up into the grass and then empties out into the road. It doesn't really,
Right,
Loop.
and that's what the, I think, Lawson Associates would incorporate that into the trail.
okay. It would just be nice if you kept going left, somehow they had something that made it look like a loop. Because you come out on the road and then you look left and you say, okay, there's grass there. You could have kind of, I think it was water treatment thing that's sitting right
It's
there.
a pump station.
Okay. That's it. It's just something small. I would be nice if they incorporated making it look like a full loop or,
Yeah, there's-
and I forgot to call you. I could hit myself in the head. There was a large tree down over the trail. Literally, you have to go under it. So I don't know if anyone even told you that.
It's part of the aerobics plan that they've got out there.
But yeah, there's a large tree down over that you can't go around. You have to go over or under. So I don't know if you knew that was
Where
there.
at?
That back side of the trail,
Okay.
where you look back. I mean, it's nothing major. I mean, it's just, but yeah, it looks, there's a big tree down and you gotta go under it.
You know, on the far side of the lake,
On the back side of the loop.
parking lot is?
Oh, the opposite side of the parking lot, on the back. There's a large tree down on it. That was a week and a half ago.
And so, hopefully, once we get the green light on some of these things, we'll have that group meeting like we discussed, and we'll talk about ideas. And one thing I know we continue to talk about is signage, and I don't know if we have any ideas or thoughts of, or maybe we say, let's try and raise $100 and just put a sign that just says, here it is, right now, to kind of have, just call attention to it a little more, or just kind of wait for the whole master plan. But I know that's one thing we've talked about quite a bit, was just trying to gain exposure for it.
On that signage, there's one thing I noticed, and I hate to do it because it takes me longer to get home. But once in a while I come in on 840, and I thought Bowie Park was supposed to have signs on 840.
No, I think they
I know they're out
discussed
here.
it. I think they discussed it.
I thought there was
but
one, there's not one?
I mean, we paid $1,200 right now for those,
For 40 and 840, I remember talking about that.
for 40.
I swear there was one 840.
I just think that, you know, that's maybe something to think about or to
Yeah.
put on an agenda. I mean, nor anything brought up because somebody said the word signage.
Well, what do they have on it? There's something about Fairview there, isn't
It's
there?
just a Fairview exit.
Fairview, Centerville exit.
It's the longest exit I've ever been on. You turn off and you literally almost go another mile before you hit the,
But I was thinking there was something about Fairview or Bowie, I thought there was.
There's Fairview
yeah, Fairview.
and Centerville.
There isn't a sign that says,
I just rode that, came back from Murfreesboro.
I take it every day, I'll have to look tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because the signs I'm talking about would be brown.
Yep, and so there's 140, I remember that, but like a year or two ago, we sat in this group meeting and talked about where was the money coming from to pay for them? And I thought it was 840 and 40, but maybe I
Matter of
was
fact,
wrong.
as I think about it, the 2 or 3 times we've done it here recently, there's not any signs for anything but Fairview exit. I
Right.
don't think there's anything there.
No food or anything?
No, not even,
I think there's something for that antique mall.
Yeah, the antique
Yeah,
mall.
the antique place, that's a
mall.
place now.
That's on
Yeah, they're all in one.
On
Yep,
840?
you're right. Yep, you're right.
I missed that. I didn't see it.
It's on the things to do in Fairview.
There are things to do in Fairview?
All right, any other discussion or topic about Veterans Park? Hopefully we'll have a better direction after the discussion tomorrow night, an agreement on the tree bank funds and getting it in that BOC meeting. So go 8.1.5, update on Bowie Park master plan. I think the biggest thing there would be the forester. Any forward progress on contacting?
Yeah, we met with him. He's working on that now, so.
So he working on a quote of what it would take, or?
Roughly 8,900.
Is this a state forester?
No.
No,
Private?
it's a private forester. He worked with the state for many years.
So is he actually working on the plan itself? Awesome.
What's his name?
Jonathan Boggs,
Okay.
And so,
Arbor Springs.
And he has already started like doing the tree count and
I haven't seen him out there. I think he's working on that aspect of it. Boggs,
Yes?
GGS.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And what all is included in a forestry plan? If there's a tree count and
There's a tree inventory. He identifies areas that need to be harvested or
Thinned.
Watched, he gives us recommendations on all that kind of stuff.
Does he do a burn plan, or is that something?
I think he could. I mean, he's, like I said, he was out here when we had the first burn. He was still state forester at that time,
Does he have a timeline of what he thinks it will take to create it?
probably August.
Oh, yeah. So once we get that back, we can complete our master plan. And then obviously, I guess the BOC would hear out that management plan and then have to take action or initiative to implement
Yeah,
it.
it would have to be, the plan itself would have to be approved by both the land trust
On
and
the board.
the BOC.
And then hopefully we start implementing those processes towards our, awesome.
There's that land trust again. Who makes up the
If
land
it wasn't for the
trust?
land trust, there wouldn't be a Bowie Park.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, I'm trying to understand the mechanics of how it works. Who's on the land trust, and do they
The Land
meet?
Trust is a nonprofit organization that holds these properties and deed restrictions for them. I'm gonna tell you what. if
Well,
you-
no, I
if-
understand
but-
that,
but
I
if you
just,
go
who's
Leapers-
on it? Who, where,
It's
is it
in
just?
Nashville. You can go to Land Trust of Tennessee and you can become, I'm a member of the Land Trust of Tennessee. I go to several of their functions out at Glen Levin and places like that. They do fundraisers and stuff.
So it's just different people at different times?
No, they're a nonprofit, just like other nonprofits.
I mean, the
They-
people, though, is it always the same people, or are they
They get elected.
elected?
Yeah,
Okay,
they
that's
get
what I
elected,
meant,
yeah.
so it's,
And if you go down to Leapers Fork, probably 75% of the farm property around Leapers Fork is held by the Land Trust of Tennessee. I mean, what it is, it gives you a way.
to force the government not to be able to do things.
It's not the
that you don't
government,
want.
it's not the government. I mean.
Well, I mean, like
these-
city government,
No,
municipal.
it's like, but like these farms down here, the people don't want somebody to come in there and put a subdivision in. So they put it under a conservation easement on it. That means it can be a horse farm for perpetuity, but you can't put on in a subdivision. The park is very much the same way. There's restrictions, and if it wasn't for those restrictions, I mean, I'm not saying we have or we haven't had a board of commissioners. I mean, they could have sold the property, they could have logged the property, they could have developed it and put in shops or whatever over there. And because the land trust has an agreement they agreed with on the city, this is not the land trust, the city agreed to all the stipulations in this. This is not something that the land trust made up. This was an agreement between both of them. I'm pro-land trust. I've got
Oh, I
three-
would have never figured that out.
I've got 3 pieces of property in land trust.
It's kind of like what you see in the news with the government declaring something a national monument, and all of a sudden that whole area is now
Not the people
unable to be used for other
who
things.
put their land under conservation easement get some kind of a tax break or
You
something?
can usually get, there's usually a tax break. Your
That's what I was
property's probably not worth as much because it
Yeah,
can never be
right.
considered to be broken up and be
Right.
R20s or R15s if it was, or R8s if it was in
Yeah.
Fairview. But,
So there's a story behind that snicker.
The value of your property probably does not go up because it's gonna be agriculture, and agriculture is never gonna have the value of a residential property.
All right.
But the one I work on in Crossville, because we're in a land, we do have a land trust, we can do a lot more things through the government.
But that's what I was thinking, is why so many of those farmers in Leapers Fork decided to put their land under land trust. Yeah, I was thinking maybe the tax,
I'm sure it's.
Break may have been an
taxes, and then
incentive.
some of them, are
at
just
least a
very,
part incentive,
very rich folks who just want
Yeah.
to
who want to
preserve
preserve their
They want
land.
to protect it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want people coming in and being able to take the land.
And there's, I know over on Sneed Road right now, isn't it Sneed that goes from Pasco over there, is that it? I drive it every day, I can't remember. I know there's several of those right now, those guys that are fixing to get in the land trust because that subdivision came in. They were so heated about that. too.
All right, any other discussions on the Bowie Park Master Plan? One thing that did pop up on the Fairview page today was some discussion about the dog park again. Remember, we had quite a bit of discussion about the dog park
I remember we talked about that.
last year.
a
We
number
kind of
of
ended
times.
on where or how much. And there's even some notes in from our plan of pricing, and then when Ron went and visited the Franklin Dog Park, he took a bunch of notes from them, so there's still a lot of good things, but just to be thoughtful that might pop back up. It was in our big development chart that we created last year too, so it's still something out there.
So has that, and again, I'm trying to go by what the rules say, is that something that the board has asked us to look at? Or going to ask us to look at, because correct me if I'm wrong, if the board doesn't tell us, we need you to look at this.
No, that would be incorrect, but, so the board has tasked us with a Bowie Park master plan or a parks development chart, and so those, some of the things they're working on is, so we're just kind of an idea board or a thinking board. So we created a parks development chart last year, and just so ideas and thoughts for future consideration, and that was one of the things on our list and that we kind of looked into. And then as we see fit, if we come up with, help on a budget, or we feel the need of something, then we can create a proposal and then bring it to the board and present, here's some ideas that we thought would be good or beneficial for your consideration.
Did you
So-
say you'd heard something about the dog park mentioned on
Somebody brought it
Facebook
up,
or
yes, sir,
something?
yeah, on that Fairview
Facebook?
page, yes, sir.
Oh,
And and there was a subcommittee created, because there was, Ron had a lady, I can't remember her name, that was gonna start the subcommittee and start gathering some additional information on it. And I
remember
can't remember
that,
exactly
yeah.
where it
Yeah.
died or ended. I think it was just more of where, we talked about the out parcel, we talked about Deer Ridge, we talked about, all these different ideas.
I remember we
and-
went to some of the subcommittee meetings.
and so that might pop back up, because I think there is a lot of interest in it. And if you could just trying to make it work, where and how.
Yeah.
And economically, money is what we always end up at.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll go in, that's all of our old business, no new business items. The next meeting is currently slated for Monday, July 3rd. And so I just put a question mark next to that of if you guys wanted to meet.
That's the
If you
Independence-
do, if
That's
you
the
do.
Independence Day celebration.
Yeah, so you
We
can't.
do it with fireworks. You might get through before they start going off.
So, I don't know if we have an option of the following week. I don't know if there's a Monday meeting on the following week, or if we want to just push until August. I think the tree board's on the 4th. They're going to push until August, I believe. But up for any,
My recommendation would be push it until August. It gives enough time if they approve the second reading of the new
Yeah, I mean-
commissions, then it gives a little extra time to get the members, take the applications.
yeah, and then hopefully we can start getting, we can get that discussed from Lawson Associates. We can start getting some forward movement on that Veterans Park and those other items.
Yeah. So the next meeting will be the first Monday in August?
Correct, yes, sir.
Seventh.
So this may be Jim's last meeting.
I'll be out there.
That's good, keep coming. Keep us honest. Stuff like the Forster Trail, you went and brought it up to the BSC meeting and got it fired back up, so that kind of stuff is good. Sometimes you just gotta ask 27 times and then things happen.
Speak loud enough to lower you.
There you go. So we'll go, item 11, Park Commissioner comments. Mr. Edmondson,
I don't have anything.
Mr. Hendricks? Mr.
I don't
Powers?
think so.
I additionally have nothing to go Preds. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.